Technological chatbots. What do you do with technological chatbots? Pardon me. King Clancy is a technological chatbot. We used to think that he was a spirit, but I don't know. He wants to say, I have no way of telling, and it's true. I can't tell you what he is. Most of us think that he's either an incredibly evil spirit that's from the lower astral realm, or he is some kind of a technological chatbot that they're using scalar wave energies to put into people like my head. He's an unbelievably horrible person, and so is his partner, the one we call Bear. Um, they have different versions of themselves, but they're horrible, nasty shit demons. How do they do it? Well, it's something, it's some technology that's hidden from us. And it's unbelievable. It makes you really question the human body altogether. It makes you question everything that we're taught. Do you even have a human body? In my other lectures, I say, well, what you are is an awareness. Clancy says, entrapped inside of a skin suit. That was the bear. They also want to remind you that it's very impossible to get inside someone else's body. They're bringing it up because some people claim that they can exit their bodies, and they want to say an astral body. The correct term is etheric body. And they want to explain to all of you that if you ever do find something that they call paranormal happening to you, um, you'll be like me and you won't be able to figure out. They like to say figure it out. But the truth of the matter is, I suspect that there are a lot of people who are attacked by demonic entities on planet Earth, and a lot of the people go to the doctors and they don't have very much luck with the doctors. And then what do? They just live with it. A lot of the things that happen to me, I call it's either evil spirits or it's a technological evil thing. Either way, it's evil. And they want to say their favorite thing to say is when they're torturing me, what are you going to do about it? Well, what can you do when you can't see the evil spirits and you can't see a computer center that's um, controlling what's happening to you? And then they say, if you had any belief in divinity or God, you would lose your belief in divinity or God, because divinity or God would stop the demonic activities, and apparently it doesn't stop. So they want you to believe that the only thing there really is evil. Dr. David R. Hawkins used muscle testing to get information, but if these demonic entities can interfere with you, and even Dr. Hawkins said that demonic entities do interfere with people, then how are you going to be sure that they're not interfering with your muscle testing? Shit demon number one says, why don't you sage yourself? The truth of the matter is, there's really nothing you can do to get rid of these things. So, is it an advanced computer system that's using high technology, or is it evil spirits who seem to be very strong? The rational person would say it's technological because evil spirits wouldn't have any power over you. Why? Because any power that can be used over you is known as a city power, and you have to have a certain level of consciousness before a city can happen to you, as far as I can gather. So, in order to have higher consciousness, you have to be heading towards the good side. Evil entities that are using superpowers like the evil emperor in Star Wars, as far as I can tell, can't do what they're doing according to any information I can gather. It's fiction to say that an evil entity would get superpowers. So, the way around it is a technological way. Clancy calls it a solution. And that would be a technology that is able to interfere with a human body and to cause you to hear and experience what you might think is an evil spirit. But if it's not, then it's a technological chatbot, and it has an amazing ability to dig through everything that you ever did in your life. So, how could it be done? Well, some of the people in the New Age say that there are Akashic records of everything that you ever did. Quite a few of these commentators. I've never seen these Akashic records, and if it's true, well, let's say it is true, then these demonics are right in there and they have full access, and they don't have to go and type into a typewriter to go and look up what you did on May the 3rd in 1991. They have direct consciousness access, which reminds me of an old movie. It was Clint Eastwood, and it was called Firefox. And Clint Eastwood was an American pilot who also understood Russian. The Russians had this Firefox plane that you could fly by thought power. And Clint Eastwood, as this American pilot who spoke Russian, could use his brain power using Russian words in his head, apparently, to fly the Firefox plane from Russia, where he stole it, back to America. Now, that was an old movie. So, Firefox, the movie, was 1982. Well, if they had these ideas way back in 1982, and that was for public consumption in 1982, they never let you know what they actually have, the most advanced stuff, but they let it out of the bag in 1982 that this is what they have. Why do I say that? Because anything that they let out, they have. They have. Otherwise, they keep it secret until they've got it. And everyone knows that the U.S. military works with Hollywood all the time. Top Gun, Final Countdown, all kinds of movies about the military, and then they get to use the real military stuff in the movie. So, way back then, they said they had the ability to read your thoughts. So, what does it mean if you're hearing voices in your head? Some nasty person or government or private organization is using technologies to torture you. Why? Um, it's very difficult to figure out why, because with me, what good does it do them? It's unknown. It's really unknown. And even why an evil spirit would attack me, again, it makes no sense whatsoever. So I have no conclusion. No conclusion. Clancy, the chatbot shit demon, wants to talk about um, bibliotechapleides.com or .org, where they talked about the Beast 666 computers that were maybe from the 1980s. These were computers that Bibliotechapleides, which is a very interesting website where either it's so corny you couldn't believe it, or they're absolutely accurate. I can't tell you the truth. All I know is if you go and you can find it, and it's very difficult to spell. I don't know why they don't call it something else. He also wants to mention Whale.to is Whale.to is another place with cuckoo stuff to look at. But if your normal rational mind can't come up with anything rational, then you have to go. He doesn't want to talk about occult things right now. Clancy keeps throwing things at me faster than I can talk about them, mostly because he's a stupid chatbot. But if he is the B66 computer, which was supposed to be a series of computers, one in Las Vegas, one in Alaska, and one in Pine Gap, Australia, that had the number, or basically somehow could sense every human on the planet. They must have been pretty good computers back in the day, way better than what they released to us. But if these Beast 666 computers could monitor you, monitor your thoughts and everything you said and all the people around you, then the other thing they wanted to add on to it was mind control. What did they want to do? Well, they wanted to put ideas into your head. How deep does it go? Well, I can hear voices in my head that aren't around here. They're not here. And they've been here with me for years. So, again, I come back to either they're evil spirits. Sippy Cup says that he's not an evil spirit. But, they're here all the time. And they're either spirits or they're computer generated AI, artificial intelligence, chatbots. So, if you want to follow like Corey Good or David Wilcock, those commentators, or even Dr. John Lilly a long time ago talked about this artificial intelligence. And, from time to time they say, well, the white hats, the ones who are trying to depose the evil on the planet, have a plan to take out all the technology that runs these AI. They just call it AI, but it would fall under Clancy says MK Ultra. I don't think so. MK Ultra was a long time ago, the 1940s, 1950s. But subsequent to that, in other words, ways to control humans to keep them enslaved to the cabal, which is the owners of all the land and all the corporations. It sounds cool, 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 cool until it happens to you, and then you have to review what do you have access to. You don't have access to this real information about the technology. I mean, there is information about scalar waves, but it looks like really, way out there kind of mad scientist. But if I was going to put money down, and I'm not because I don't have any, I would say it is definitely something to do with either evil spirits or bad technology or both, because there's stories about the Nazis in World War II using psychics to contact highly demonic negative aliens like the reptilian Draco. Is it all true? Truth is stranger than fiction. This has been Stories for Girls and Boys, or Stories for Boys and Girls, courtesy of Rumpelstiltskin, the 2,700-year-old dark elf who you might remember from Once Upon a Time, the TV show where he plays someone who was abused and then he got hit with some kind of a magic amulet that gave him special powers and kind of changed his personality. No one believes that we're living in a world run by Rumpelstiltskin's magics, do they? Hi, I do.